So here's why, personally for me, I don't want to have children until I'm about 40 years old. And it all comes down to the matter of, I want to live. I want to live, man. You know? Because it's like this. And I'm going to talk about my experience. And then I would imagine it will link to you or relate to you in some way, shape or form. My life, okay, cool. So I was born in the 14th of March, 2006, right? So the 14th of March, 2006. But I don't have memory of any of those events prior to being the age of 4, 2010. I'm 19 now. So now it already feels as if, 16 years of my life is stripping away. Well, 3 years of my life is stripped. So I feel like it would be like I lived for 16 years of me actually remembering, being conscious of stuff and whatnot, looking back. And then it's like you're 4 years old. And then from 11 years old, you go to secondary, you go to elementary school, right? As you Americans would call it. We British people call it primary school. So you go to that, right? You do your school, and most of us didn't really enjoy school. I mean, I most definitely didn't. It wasn't my cup of tea in the slightest. I can say that with chest. Wasn't my thing. Really wasn't. I hated it a bit. I fucking hated it. It's arse. Your time controlled. A third of your day spent with people that you're not really fond of. With your teacher, well, in this case you call a parental figure. And even then, you're not really cool with them like that, but you're just there due to circumstances. It's agonizing. It sucks. And a third of your day away from your parents. I mean, nowadays, sometimes you're spending more days with your teachers than your parents. So even they're going to condition you, especially with how things are nowadays. Them conditioning people that transgender, being gay is no more. I'm not transphobic or homophobic or anything like that. Or don't pass down your mental flipping disability onto the youth and making them think it's normal. How fucking dare you? Don't do that. Don't do that. You think the Bible promotes that? How do you think God feels? It's disgusting. Now if you identify as that, I'm not criticizing you or anything, but I will tell you it's not normal. So don't condition these fresh buds into that demonic satanic way. That's my case, and I have no remorse saying that because I know what I'm saying is good. It's right. God approves of it too. What was the harm of what I said? I'm not attacking the people who want to do with their gender. I'm just saying telling them don't condition the next gen who are fresh and pure into thinking that it's a moral thing. That's all I'm saying. Keep it to yourself. You can tell people you identify by that. Okay, cool, we respect it, cool. But don't tell the youth that so they can grow up thinking it's normal, because it's not. Quick side rant, but it needed to be said. So we talk about the conditioning part, right? The conditioning part, you're in school, and then you go on to secondary school, as you Americans would refer to as high school. Ages 11 to age 16. That's the high school period, the secondary school period. I don't know if you guys Americans call it middle school or something. I think you have a year group split. I don't know how your grade structure works. So let me know in the comments. And then you have the choice, if you want to pursue higher education or sixth form or college. You can still do that in high school in England. I can only speak for England. But you're going to be 16 to 18 with 16 to 11-year-olds, and it's going to be a bit hard navigating by, especially going to point A to point B because there's all those fucking kids around. How to move around, But then you can take the alternate path, which is college, the path I took, when you're just around more mature people. Definitely feels like a lot more mature setting. You don't really have the tensions like sixth form does, and they still do. You don't have that. Treat you like an adult. If you're late to your lessons, well, it's on you. They're not really gonna get mad. I mean, you're the one suffering with the grades. So that's college, that's 16 to 18. Then if you really want, 18 to 21, you can go to university. If you want to. I personally didn't like it. So I guess depending on the standards you live by, or the life path you choose, whether you choose to not go to university like I did, when turning 18 last year, or you graduating like a few of my friends. Well, in the process of graduating, like some of my friends, who are 21 years old, well, close to 21. They come up to being 21 years old. the age where they graduate, you know, they're still kind of in the school system in a way. The education, they don't really have time for themselves. They're just doing things for purely the sake of, doing to get them grades, right? So you're 18 to 21 years of your life now. Yeah, you never really lived your life as a man doing what you should. And sexual attraction plays a major factor into that. And we're going to get into that. I'm going to tell you why I feel the way I do. Because I say this all the time, but it's worth bearing repeating again. We've all hit puberty, right? Some of us are late bloomers, I understand that. But we cannot deny the feelings in our brain. That pubertalizes. I don't even know if that's a word. Probably not. Anyway, either way, the sexual thoughts start kicking in. You start thinking, oh, these girls are getting fucking hot. At least this is what I was like when I was 14, 5 years ago, right? Came back from lockdown, you know, I'm looking at all the girls. I'm like, obviously, I'm not saying this out loud. And this, me in my head, what the fuck happened to these girls? Why are they so hot now? This one girl in my class, I looked at her, tits flat as fuck. She had nothing once like a year ago. I'm looking at her tits now, I'm like, bro, what happened, girl? Bro, you're loaded. You're stacked. Them titties stacked. It's funny because she actually ended up liking me after I started liking her. Nothing transpired after that, unfortunately. We're looking back. Nah, I'm actually glad nothing transpired, really. But that's besides the point. Everyone's developing physically, mentally. The sexual thoughts start kicking in. Your cock gets bigger when you're a man. You wanna fuck? I get it, man. That sex drives, that libido, the testosterone. It's like all-time high, especially when you're a teenager. I know this happens for me, and I have many friends who felt the same way. Women here, right? Hey, you can comment down below how you felt. The puberty kicking in. I did. I want to fuck a lot. I didn't. I didn't really get pussy like that. Not that I should have, and not that I should. I never. But it counts still zero. But it's good in the eyes of God. And I think I'm on the right path because my Bible also promotes non-sex till marriage. So, looking back, I think I'm on the right path, and I'm glad I didn't dig my digging stick and all them hoes. Right? Because you can only choose one watery hole, and that takes discernment and decision making. Rational decision making, reasonable decision making. It's very logical too, because it can fuck you up sometimes. Some people, they go down the wrong path, get too horny, and they choose the wrong one. It's not good for you. So we're done with high school and college and sixth form. We're done with that too. So you're about 18 to 21 now. You didn't really get to live, and let's not ignore the part where I was talking about being horny. That plays a massive factor. Women are more hornier than men. It's an objective fact. I've seen it. The horny, they think about sex more. What do you think they think about getting married or married more? I'm sure it's a life goal of men, but not craved as much as women do. Like, us men, we don't sit down going, I just want to have kids, man. I can't do this. That's what women do. That's what women do. Come on, let's be honest. Us men are thinking, bro, I just want to have a fucking bag. I want to do the stuff I want. It's going to link back to the sexual market value too. So when this is what from I observed also, with 14 to 16, like 14 was when I started noticing the girls getting pretty hot. But it's a mad world out here, man. Even the grown men, personally, I wouldn't want to hit on a teenager as a grown man, but I'm telling you, from what I've seen, it's a thing, it's prevalent. From when you're about the ages of 14, really starts to blossom at age 16. You're gonna notice if you're a girl, and from what I noticed, the girls start getting a lot of attention. Free attention. It's naturally given, you know, it's just the price of being a woman, the female advantage, if you will. This is what I observed, and you know that girl I was talking about earlier, the beginning, I was like, damn, you had nothing there yet, you're stacking. I remember this one time, when she hit the puberty, I remember there were 4 guys around her, trying to ask her out. I'm like, fucking hell, damn. And everyone's getting asked out now. It's prevalent. Hey, some of these lot were dating older men. Like 2-3 years older than them. And it'd be a secret rumor roaming around the school. I'd hear stories like that, man. And so the game is, it's like the women, as they peak earlier, they peak physically earlier. They start developing, you know, it's not uncommon to see a woman nowadays that's built like an adult. That's why you see those TikToks. I know that I use TikTok, but YouTube Shorts of the internet. The guy asks the person's age, the girl is built like she's 21, ends up being 16. You see it all the fucking time. All the time. And so, whatever setting you're out when you're at that age as a girl, whether at school, work, just walking out, shopping malls, you name it, you're gonna get noticed. The chances of you getting noticed, probability speaking, pretty high in comparison to your male counterpart. Because your male counterpart, you ain't gonna get shit, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. You're not gonna pull no women. You're not. Barely. Maybe a few rare times your age, people your age, as I did a few, but older women are not gonna find you attractive. I mean, yeah, older women. On the contrary, older men will find those younger women attractive. Especially going on to the teens. Well, I already addressed to the teens. 20s, especially early 20s when women are most beautiful. And I guess some point in mid-20s. There's a few beautiful women in the late 20s too. But peak-wise, peak attractions, early 20s, about 20 to 23, right? And so, puberty, we addressed to that. So when you're about 14 to 23, that's 9 years of men throwing themselves at you. And you probably, I'd imagine the women probably ejected thousands of them. I wouldn't be surprised. And I don't blame the women in that regard because, you know, you only have one pussy. Only one person can really nut inside you. And you, in terms of biologically, the woman kind of has more to lose, you know? One person impregnates us is going to have to be stuck with that baby for 9 months. Whereas if a man were to do it too, he could just well, I wouldn't say plausibly, it's not a just thing, but has the ability to literally not on one woman, not on another woman, run away. As moral as it is, it does happen in this world, and it's something we shouldn't ignore. We shouldn't ignore. So there's that, you know. And I've had personal stories from, you know, people I know in my own personal life. They get more attraction. It's just part of the female game. You're gonna get more attention from men just from being hot. Starts usually when you're in your teenage years. So you're having all types of men, 16, 18, 19, 20, 21. Bro, don't even get me started on the social media, bro. I'm telling you, bro, there's 20-year-olds getting flown out by 30-year-old millionaires. There's 21-year-olds women dating 33, 32-year-old men. Because that's what men value. We value beauty and sex appeal on the dating market. That's what we just value. It's the character. Tell me why there's a fox behind me trying to creep up on me. Fuck's sake. That's just part of the game. Check out my video sexual market value. I can go all day on this topic, but I'm not. We can go all day, but back to the main topic. So, 14 to about, let's say 25, right? The woman's got like 11 years of experience. All types of men, all age ranges. Oh, not to mention social media. Hey. 30s, 20s, 40s, they want to 50s even. Successful men DMing this girl on Instagram for being hot. You know? So this woman has all these options, you know, given to her. She can choose the best one. She knows what she wants now. This is why when women hit their 20s, they already know. Cool. Because they knew when they were a child. They always knew. They had this inherent dream. They always knew it was naturally ingrained in them. I want to be a mother one day. Hence why they'd play with teapots when they're a kid. You know the mum. I'm sure you've heard of this saying. You want to play mums and dads? That's set up. It's ingrained. Because it's like they're playing their future dream in the setting of toys. I'm sure you've heard of that with mums and dads. Always wanted to do that. I know they wanted to. And they, you know, fortunately, they live it out, which is great. So when you're in your teenage years and early 20s, you're going to get all these options, all these men coming after you in the street. And it's probably, you're never going to get rejected. May oddly, but in terms of the odds, you're more likely to get a yes from most men if you're a hot woman in the street, whether they're doing well for themselves or not. Then and no. It's just how the game is, man. Hey, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just telling you how the world works. Not that I know everything, but I think I'm competent enough to speak in this area. And what I observed, just being in the real world and wisdom from others. So the women, they're going to get the most attention. The man, well, so we talk about them getting the most attention about 20 to 23, yeah, that age. They've experienced enough men, maybe even thousands of men, on a daily basis. Hey, or maybe across a week. So they had so much time, 10 years of experience, really just seeing what type of men they want, disqualifying the type of men, figuring it out what they want. Us, at the same age to them, we don't even know what we want, bro. We just came out of college. Fucking sixth form college. We don't know what we want. We're still broke. Most 18, 21-year-olds, you don't have your frame filled out. Yeah, that takes time. It takes like 5 years. You're still broke. You can't really travel. You're probably struggling to get a job. Like the job market nowadays is fucking hard. And even if you do have a job, it's like, yeah, but you're barely making it through. It's rough in the beginning for men. I'm speaking from experience. I'm only 19. It's rough in the beginning. So you look at it like this. The first 18 years of your life, you don't even have the power to do what you want. You have no money. It's even at 21 years, you have no money. Our female counterparts have already matured. They're probably dating older. Some of them even dating older men. Are already even in relationships with men 5-10 years older than you. And they're not going to go for you. You're broke. Now, I'm sure there's exceptions to the rule, but women have a limited clock. I'm sure they'll invest in you, but if they see you're not going anywhere and you seem promising, she's going to jump ship, and she can. It's part of the game. And another man's probably that's already successful 10 years older than you. Let's say the guy's like 28, 31, is probably going to say to the 20, 18-year-old, yeah, come here then. Get together. It's different for a man. And there's a lot of pressure nowadays because everyone's saying, oh, I've spoken to a few of my friends. Some of them are like, oh, I want to get married when I'm 30. So if that's really what you want, nothing wrong with that. But I see it like this, bro. I feel like no, it is a female narrative. Because the woman's looks decay when she's in her 30s. That's why she wants to get married and all this stuff for the security's sake. Right? And the trap is, most cases, and I believe this can also tie into why most people divorce, beauty plays a factor, and we can't ignore that also. Beauty definitely plays a significant factor. So I personally, for me, I don't date a woman my age because the woman knows what she wants. Let's say you're like 21, right? The woman knows 21, alright, I need to look for a man. Most women, they don't have a man or married by 25, they start panicking a little. It's facts, and you start panicking. When you're a man at 25, you just finished college like 4 years ago, bro. And just even then, you still may not be the most attractive, talking in averages of just men. Most people 25, they don't have their life figured out. Probably, still getting the hang of their career, getting things together, but you're not really figured out yet. You're not really that stable. You're not the finished product. You're not the most attractive yet. Men don't really start getting into their looks until they're like in their late 20s. That's when women start paying you attention. So that's like 10 or 12 years after your female counterparts. 13 years even. And so what we tend to do is you look for the most beautiful woman your age, but the first woman that shows you sexual attraction, and you're goofy ass never got female attention before. So you're thinking, oh, this is the only woman that wants me, oh. But what you don't know is it was one of many who will eventually come to you and ask you the same thing. But you didn't know any better, so you get out with this woman, and so you love each other a bit. Then her beauty begins to fade, and you're not feeling the same. I'm sure you still love her, you still love the kids. But these younger women that you wanted when you're in high school, and in your teenage years that you never got when you're 18, in your teenage years, in your early 20s, those younger women, those 21, 22, beautiful 23-year-olds in their prime, they're now giving you attention when you're 35. But you already locked up with this chick. Now, I'm sure, yes, I always say there's exceptions to the rule when you can be same age and lovey-dovey, but I'm addressing what actually happens quite often. This is why divorces happen. You're not attracted to the woman, it's very hard. They can love each other as much as you want, bro. Looks matter at a certain point, bro. And I think it's best if a man goes for a woman in their prime and a woman goes for a man in his prime. Because the man, you have to scratch off that itch. As childish as it may sound, it's actually a thing that happens to men. It happens, man. Like, I'd be walking outside, bro. I see like people grown, like middle-aged. They'd see a beautiful like 23, 24-year-old walk past. When the wife's not looking, the guy looks at her ass, bro. He's just staring, I'm telling you, bro. And then the wife taps him. The guy acts like he didn't do nothing. But I saw it though. I saw you looking at the 20-year-old. I know you want them cheeks. And that's why I always say you shouldn't wait. You should have waited. That's why personally for me, and I made a video like this, I refuse to date women or get with a woman my age. I may date. I'm not gonna start nothing serious though. But I wouldn't get with that. Because I admire beauty and I have no shame saying that. I'm gonna be in my 30s, I'll probably date someone that's 20 or something. Me personally, I prefer a 10, 20 year age guy. That's just me. The same way women prefer someone who's older, I prefer younger. No, in the minor category, I'm not that guy. I'm not weird like that. But you know what I'm talking about. Like, I don't mind. I don't see a problem with me being at 33 a day, a 23-year-old woman. So what? I don't see the problem. I have what she desires. Most 23-year-old women, they're not going to date some person man is 23. Unless they seem promising or have something about themselves we're building. Yeah, but most are broke. So it's like, why play that game when there's already men in the upper echelon who have what the woman desires, and the woman has a limited window. And so it's like, bro, I want to live. So I'd imagine my 20s is probably just going to be me dedicating, learning, failing, building businesses, trying to get to make something of myself, you know? Because, hey, I'm 20 in 6 months and about 15 days. Hey, bro, I know I still have 6 months left of my teens, but it's like, bro, I didn't really live. I don't do shit. I really do fun shit. I can't do fun shit. I'm fucking broke. I'm poor. I don't have money. So it's like, why am I thinking of having a child till 30? If I have a child by 30, motherfucker, I had more time in the school system, and the 20s, me stacking peas to eventually live the life that I want. You know, not telling you I'll never have kids. I do at some point, but I want to enjoy myself first. I want to travel the world and do the cool shit, all the cool, date a lot of hot women in different races, all this shit I want to do now, but I can't because I'm fucking broke and poor. I still have the confidence to talk to any women. I know I do, but fucking poor. It's like, bro, I want to do cool shit. I'm even getting bored of that. I want to do cool shit, but you can't when you're poor. I didn't get to scratch that itch off like women did. It's, you know, I told you women get the most attention in their 20s. You know, men don't get that when they're in their 20s. Most of us guys, man. Most of you guys, if you put in the work, you're probably not gonna get that until you're in your late 20s or early 30s. But then your family's pressuring you. Your family's probably gonna tell you, "Oh, all your friends are getting married. You should get married to you." Your mum will probably be on to you. "Oh, you're not married yet." They'll try to pressure you, make you feel bad for being single. But it's like, bro, I'm using my 20s, and they're not even gonna be that fun. It's just me sacrificing, probably working a lot of shitty jobs, working on the business, trying to build a name for myself so I can live in my 30s, because that's when life really does start. Because like, when you're in your 20s, it's like, you're not really taken seriously, women don't find you attractive. Most businesses, they won't really look at a 20-year-old seriously, but when you're 30, it's like, oh, you put some points on the board, people have to respect you in that regard. And so, the same way the woman experienced her options when she was a teenager, just men throwing themselves at them, I want to go through like a 5-10 year period where I'm in my 30s, I'm rich and successful, thanks to all of the bullshit that I will go through in my 20s. The sacrifice decade, that I like to call it. And I want to ball. And I'm not necessarily saying live. I don't think that lavish lifestyle is a sin. Obviously, not in the sense of like lifestyle inflation, but bro, I've been in poverty for nearly 20 years now, bro. And there'll be more suffering in my 20s. I barely have fun in my 20s. Probably just work. Not to say I will never socialize, but for the most part, it's you stacking peas, living poor, living below, extremely below your means to try and build that wealth in my 30s to enjoy. And set me up for life. It's like, bro, I want to live. I want to travel. Why, bro, you think I'm learning? I know 2 languages already. I taught myself French 3 years ago. Well, I finished learning it last month. But I started learning French 3 years ago. Because I want to travel to Africa and France and all that stuff. I'm learning German right now. Why? Because I want to travel to German countries. I want to speak German with people. I'm going to learn Spanish after German. Then I'm going to learn Japanese. I want to know 5 languages by the time I'm 30. I believe I can do it. Why? Because, yeah, I just want to have fun. I get to have the fun when I was a kid. You're restricted. You don't have money. You're stuck with your parents. You can't really do the cool shit. You can't date a hot woman. And let's not ignore the hot women part, because I know a lot of us men, hey, it's okay to admit you want to date a hot chick. I do. I barely got girls in high school. I didn't scratch that itch off that women did when they were in their teen years. I want to know what it's like to be in my 30s, date with the hot girls that I couldn't date at the time. I want to know what it's like to be 30 and date a 20-year-old, 21-year-old, 22-year-old, 23-year-old. All these women from different races. You don't even know what you want, bro. A lot of people, you settle too early. Because from the first woman that shows you attention, bro, you don't even actually know what you want. You haven't seen the world, bro. You haven't traveled the world, bro. And this is what I'm saying, bro. Like, I'm saying travel the world a bit. See what you like. Go and you live in England, you may think you like British girls, bro. You actually never know. Travel to Italy, you may find this Italian woman and you're like, fuck, that's my actual type. But you never would have known that if you never settled too early. Or I don't know, flipping Argentinian woman, you might be into that. You might be into South African women. You might be into Asian women, Chinese, Indian women. It's fine. But I'm saying, my 20 years of my life. I'm not 20 yet, but I'm turning 26 months. And I doubt 6 months would be much different than it is now. So it's like 20 years, I don't really get to do what I really wanted. I don't really have money to do the fun stuff, you know? I don't have money to do the fun stuff. You're still broke. You're not really pulling women like that at your age. It's no more. Yeah, I mean, you're not gonna pull the baddies. The hot women are not attracted to 18-year-olds. They're just not. Like, I remember I was working my sales job last year. There was this 25-year-old girl from, what African country was she from again? Sierra Leone. She's 25, and I was muscular, right? I had a reputation in my job for being a muscular guy. One 25-year-old was like, "Hey, do you want him?" Right? And she's like, "He's 20. He's 18. He's too young." She didn't deny it. She said I was 18. Because you're too flipping young, you just get started. And I hear it, fair play. And that's why I drew to the conclusion, bro, I'm not gonna have kids till I'm 40, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I still think there's nothing wrong with what I said in terms of having I think it's okay to have an age gap, 10 to 15 years. Men value beauty and can we normalize this for fuck's sake? It's okay to want a beautiful woman, a beautiful young woman. For me, right? Me. You may think otherwise, I respect that also. But some men are so scared to say so. Women are scared to admit they want an older man in general because they have their life figured out. So let's normalize that for us. I want to have a young, beautiful woman. Why? Because I want to do it now. Yeah, but you're broke. It's probably going to leave. Fair play. Cool. And our looks are going to diminish. And that's normal. There's nothing wrong with that. But I value looks in a relationship the same way women value security, protection, money, stuff. All that stuff, which a man needs to actually make him a good mate and spouse. I feel the same with looks. And if you can research on the internet, when you're good looking, it makes relationships a lot easier, long lasting. It's just easier. You love each other more. You know? Why would you date someone you don't find physically attractive? It don't make sense. It don't. So, me, I prefer to have a beautiful woman on my side. And I ain't having any children for 40 because, bro, 30 really is a man's prime, man. Like, things you struggled with and things I always struggle with in my 20s. When you're 30, I'd imagine and from what everyone's been saying, if they put the work in, of course, you've been through enough bullshit where it's like, yeah, I can solve that problem in a flashlight now. Because you've been through the 10 years, 12 years of bullshit, hard work. Life fucks you up in the face. Life was slapping you in the face during your 18, being 18 and 20. You know? It was just throwing rocks at you, beating you down constantly. And that's enough years to build your career, build your money up. You actually have the money to do what you want. But most people, they mess up because they get married straight away to the first woman that shows them attention. Now, all that money that you worked for your business is going to those kids and your female's wife, your wife and her life goes. And it's not going to your own. And now you're fucked. You may be happy in the first few years, but you're pussy scared. You're thinking, oh, it's the first woman that showed me attractive, I'll never get pussy again. You were, but you were impatient. You don't know how the game works. You fucked up. I see this all the time when I go outside, bro. I see it. I see grown men with their wives, and they're even interested in their wives. They're looking the other way to the hot 20-year-olds on the left. I see it, bro. I'm not talking about my house. Bro, I see this. I see this shit. I see it. That's why I'm so passionate on that topic, bro. And I'm thinking, you guys may be thinking in the comments, hey, Gordon, you're being harsh. Oh, Gordon doesn't like the idea of getting married or having children or a wife. No, I didn't say that. But I'm saying I want to enjoy myself first, enjoy what it's like to be with a beautiful woman, the same way you have the options of being around them, the same way women did when they were 20, because it was naturally given. Men have to work for their value in that regard. I want to enjoy it. I want to rub that itch off, man. I just want to be 30 and I'm like, cool. I want to be like 40 years old and be like, cool. I spent my 30s dating all the hottest women. I was never able to do so in my 20s and whatnot, right? I dated Indian women, I dated Pakistan women, I dated Chinese women, I dated Japanese women, I dated Korean women, I dated British women, I dated French women, I dated, Nigerian women, I dated Colombian women, I dated Ugandan women, all these continents, whatever. Bro, scratch that itch off. I love you guys, but I'm Brazilian. I love you guys when I hate on him for doing heathenism. Now, was that heathenistic life moral? No. Yeah, it was pure heathenism. But he's got a chick now, right? And he's got tired of it, scratched that itch off. He realised it wasn't what he wanted. Now he can chill with her and commit to her. Because he scratched that itch off. The same way women have that itch scratched off a lot earlier. But us men were too horny driven, too pussy power driven, so we chased the first woman that shows us attention. And then when our legs fade, you're not as interested. And that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm on. That's all I'm on. All I'm about. And hey, like father, like son, my dad did the same thing. Well, I barely knew him, but I mean that in the sense of he's had his first child and the third child. He's had the first child at 42. I did the math. 42. Well, he was turning 42 that year. So really, yeah, no, it was turning 43 that year. Yeah, I did get it right. So it was turning 43, had the first child at 42. Had me at 46. There was an 8-year gap between me and my mum, right? Fair enough. I hear it. That's what I'm on. I'd do that as well. Because when there's like a 10, 15-year gap, women still in their prime, still at their best, there's enough of an age gap to where, you know, men have built something of themselves, to which women find attractive, you know? And most women, and you know, I'm on about 10, 15-year age gap. It's like, cool. So I told you I'm on a woman with 10, 15-year age gap. Well, I'm not going to get a 9-year-old now. Because your future wife, she may be 9 now. I'm not going to hit on a 9-year-old. It's fucking disgusting, of course. And I'm also not going to hit on a 4-year-old. That's disgusting. So you can't attract the woman younger than you right now when you're a teenager. You can't do it with the older woman because you're still young, still a baby, still have that puffy fat. You're not really a man yet. You're not forged enough. They're not finding you attractive. So you're in this middle ground now, right? You're in this middle ground. So life saying, go, hey, fuck this, get your shit together. That's what life saying, hey, Golden, you can't attract bitches. I'm not referring to those bitches. That was just instinct. Hey, you can't attract women yet, Golden. Get your shit together. Work on yourself. That's life saying that to you. Focus on the money, Golden. Build that career up. That's what life saying, man. You can't attract in your age, and even if you can, it's like, for me, it's like, yeah, you're still broke though. You know what I'm saying? I value beauty, and I know the beauty's not gonna look as good when you're in 30, which is normal, but I like a beautiful woman. And then when I age, so I get the woman at 40, she's like 25 or something. Even though her looks do begin to fade, it's like 35. I'll be 50, so it won't matter anyway. But a lot of people, they realize this trap too late. You cop the person at the same age, you end up not really valuing the beauty. Like I said, there are exceptions, but I'm talking for most. Yeah, you don't really like the looks. Then you divorce that woman, and then they end up dating a fucking young woman anyway. So you see what I'm here? You see what I'm on now? I'm saying, that's what I'm saying, get that itch rubbed off the same way women did. Because you're doing the same thing anyway. You ended up divorcing the woman anyway. So go for younger women. Why not date a bunch of women to actually realize what you want anyway? Realize your taste, the woman, what type of woman you're into. Then you can pick the best one out of them all. Rather than stacking all your chips in too early, picking one woman. You're not into her looks and you don't find her attractive. You may love the kids, but you don't find her as attractive as 21-year-olds who are eyeing you up. Find out what you want. Explore the world a bit, travel. And my 20s are probably going to be really shit. Won't really be able to have fun. My 20s will just be dedicated to me, probably picking working jobs, stacking money for the business to build a good life now. So, but I'm chipping away. It's a sacrifice, and these years, I ain't living. There's going to be barely any fun in my 20s, honestly. Maybe start getting a bit of fun in the late 20s. You actually start becoming somewhat of a man, but now for me, I don't see my life really blooming until I'm in my 30s. Most successful people say that also. Their life was shit in their 20s, and with the accumulation effect, their life is a lot better in their 30s, and I'm hoping for that for me as well. That's my truth. You can say what you want in the comments. If you disagree, you can say that. That's how I feel. So I ain't getting children until I'm 40. And if you're in shape, everyone's like, oh, you're old. Bro, when you're in shape, you won't look old. I'm telling you, there's people out there. I've seen it. I saw this one 70-year-old Jack guy this year. He looked like 70, 60. Bro, was flipping jacked. He looked younger than ever. He looked like I was 40, bro. I'm not even joking, 40, 50. Bro, when you're in shape, bro, you can live forever, man. I believe I'll reach 100, so yeah, I don't see the problem with it, man. Bro, you guys gotta wake up, man. You gotta start speaking for yourself and what you actually want. Stop feeling pissy pressured and family pressured. What do you want, man? Live life on your terms. Stop doing it for other people's life goals. Be selfish, it's cool. Put yourself first, man. Because if you prioritize only them, you're gonna be stripped with nothing. They'll leech it off you, so they don't mean to, but you're left with nothing. Then you're fucked anyway. So put yourself first. Everything's gonna fall into place anyway. Being able to say no, hey, things will go your way. That's what I like to believe, man, and it will happen. Peace out.